Ever dismiss that gut feeling screaming at you to walk away, only to regret it months later when everything fell apart exactly how your body predicted? That wasn't coincidence. That was your nervous system doing its job while your rational mind played dumb. Your intuition isn't some mystical fortune-telling power, it's a sophisticated threat detection system running complex calculations your conscious brain can't even access. And every time you override it to seem reasonable, you're basically flying blind through a storm. Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal will change how you make every decision from now on. You won't believe what your body's been trying to tell you. How your nervous system detects danger before you think. Your palms sweat for no reason during that job interview. Your stomach twists when meeting your friend's new partner. Your shoulders tense walking into that party even though everything looks fine. You know these moments, right? And you've probably talked yourself out of trusting them because they seem irrational, paranoid, or just weird. Here's what nobody's telling you. Those reactions are the most rational thing happening in your body. While your thinking brain processes about 40 bits of information per second, your subconscious is crunching 11 million. 11 million bits analyzing facial micro-expressions, voice pitch variations, behavioral patterns, subtle inconsistencies your eyes catch, but your awareness doesn't register. Your gut isn't guessing, it's calculating at speeds your conscious mind can't match. When something feels off without obvious reason, there is a reason, you just don't have conscious access to the data yet. Your brain identified a dangerous pattern based on millions of past experiences, cross-referenced information in milliseconds, and hit the alarm button. But modern society taught you to distrust this system. You learned that everything needs immediate, logical explanation. That feelings are unreliable. That intuition is for people who are too sensitive or overthinking. Result? You trained yourself to ignore the most accurate warning system you possess. So the manipulative person shows up with perfect words. The situation that looks great on paper but feels wrong in your bones. The opportunity everyone says is amazing, but something in you rejects, and you silence the discomfort. After all, you have no proof, no logic, just this uncomfortable feeling you can't name. Months later, when it explodes, when you discover the betrayal, the scam, the trap, you think, I knew it, and you did know. Your radar detected it, but you chose to fly without instruments because someone convinced you instruments are superstition. Research from the University of Leeds tracked emergency room doctors making rapid diagnoses. The most accurate ones weren't relying purely on checklists, they integrated medical protocols with that something's wrong here feeling. When experienced doctors ignored their gut instinct in favor of just the data, misdiagnosis rates jumped significantly. Your nervous system has pattern recognition software your thinking brain can't replicate. Here's the game changer. Intuition doesn't replace critical thinking. It flags what needs critical thinking. When your instinct fires an alert, it's not saying run immediately, it's saying pay closer attention here. It's like a smoke detector going off. The detector doesn't tell you where the fire is or how to put it out, it tells you there's a problem that needs investigation. Most people treat their intuition like that car warning light they put tape over because it's annoying. The light isn't the problem. The light is telling you about the problem, and ignoring it doesn't make the engine issue disappear, it just guarantees you'll be stranded on the highway later. Drop one word that describes the last time you ignored your gut and regretted it. Why your body reads what people never say out loud. Someone tells you they're fine, but every cell in your body screams they're lying. The conversation is polite, the words are appropriate, the smile is there, but you leave feeling drained, confused, like you need to scrub your skin. Nothing happened, nothing you could point to in court, but something absolutely happened. What your conscious mind missed, your subconscious captured in 4,000. That fraction of a second when their body language contradicted their words. The slight vocal tension when they made that promise. The way they angled away from you while claiming they care. Your limbic system, the ancient brain that kept your ancestors alive when saber-toothed cats were real threats, is running full surveillance mode in the office break room. This isn't paranoia. This is evolutionary competence operating in contemporary environments. Your ancestors, who ignored that weird vibe about the rustling bushes, became lunch. The ones who trusted inexplicable unease survived, reproduced, and pass those hypersensitive sensors to you. Congratulations, you descend from people who took bad feelings seriously. But here's the trap. Intuition needs calibration. Having the world's most sophisticated radar means nothing if you never learn to interpret the signals. Worse, if you spent years being conditioned to shut down the equipment every time it beeps. A study from the Max Planck Institute tracked financial traders making split-second decisions. They found something startling. Traders who paid attention to their physiological responses, heart rate changes, skin conductivity shifts during market volatility consistently outperformed those who relied solely on analytical models. The body was detecting pattern shifts milliseconds before conscious awareness caught up. Your nervous system is constantly reading the room at levels your awareness can't process. That person who drains your energy without doing anything wrong? Your system detected incongruence between their presentation and their intention. The microaggressions too subtle to call out, but too consistent to miss. The emotional vampirism wrapped in friendship, language. Think about it. How many times have you stayed in uncomfortable situations just to avoid seeming difficult? How many times did someone give you a logical explanation for sketchy behavior, and you thought, okay, that makes sense, even though your stomach stayed knotted? How many times did you sacrifice your internal radar at the altar of being polite? Because that's what we do. We choose the verbal narrative over the 11 million bits of information our nervous system is screaming. Someone explains away the red flags, and we think, well, I'm overreacting. But your body stays tense. Your sleep gets disrupted. Your immune system starts glitching because it's in constant low-grade threat mode. Here's the brutal question. What's the actual cost of ignoring your intuition to maintain social comfort? Not the hypothetical cost, the real price you've already paid. The relationships that drained years of your life. The opportunities that turned into traps. The people you let too close who damaged you in ways you're still recovering from. Your body was sending emergency broadcasts. You just kept hitting snooze. The difference between intuition and anxiety is precision. Intuition points to specific external threats: this person, this situation, this environment. Anxiety is generalized internal noise. Everything feels dangerous all the time. Intuition mobilizes you toward protective action. Anxiety paralyzes you with catastrophic possibilities. Learn to tell them apart, or you'll spend your life running from ghosts while walking straight into actual danger. When was the last time someone made you feel crazy for trusting your gut? What happened after you ignored it? If this is landing, hit that like button so more people can stop flying blind. What happens when you finally start trusting your internal compass? The biggest lie about intuition is that it's fixed. Either you have it or you don't. Like eye color or height. This narrative serves people who benefit from you staying confused. Second-guessing yourself, easy to gaslight. Reality hits different. Intuition is a skill. Like any skill, it can be sharpened, refined, upgraded. You weren't born knowing how to read, you learned. You weren't born speaking English, you practiced. And you weren't born with calibrated intuition, you develop it by paying attention to signals that were always broadcasting. First move is uncomfortably simple. Stop explaining away discomfort. When something bothers you, the modern reflex is finding an explanation that neutralizes the feeling. I'm probably overthinking. Everyone else seems fine with this person. I'm just being judgmental. You're literally disabling the sensor to avoid dealing with the data it's providing. Try this instead. When the alarm trips, acknowledge it. Something here triggered my system. Don't know what yet, but I'm watching. You don't need to flee. You don't need to accuse anyone. Just recognize the detection and put that person, situation, or environment on elevated monitoring. Here's where it gets interesting. Your intuition improves through feedback loops. When you feel uneasy about someone and choose to observe rather than dismiss, you gather data. You test the hypothesis. Sometimes your gut is right, the person reveals themselves eventually. Sometimes it's wrong, you recalibrate your sensors. Either way, you're training the system to get more accurate. Research from Stanford's neuroscience department found that people with highly accurate intuition share a practice. They pause with discomfort. When they feel unease, They don't immediately rationalize or react, they sit with the sensation for several seconds. In that pause, the subconscious can transmit more information to conscious awareness. The delay is the download. Second upgrade. Separate what someone says from how your body responds to them. Words are easy to manipulate. Your nervous system is harder to fool. That person who says all the right things, but leaves you feeling worse? Trust the aftermath, not the performance. Actions over time reveal truth. Your body counts receipts your mind wants to ignore. Third level, start honoring your boundaries, even when you can't articulate why they exist. I don't feel comfortable with that is a complete sentence. You don't owe anyone a dissertation on why your nervous system rejected their request. The discomfort itself is sufficient data. Watch what happens when you start doing this. Watch who gets angry when you put up guardrails, who calls you paranoid, difficult, too much. Those reactions tell you everything. People who respect your autonomy don't get hostile when you exercise it. People who are planning to cross your boundaries absolutely do. Your intuition isn't competing with your intelligence, it's feeding it. The subconscious flags anomalies. The conscious investigates them. You're not choosing between feeling and thinking. You're coordinating both processors to run at full capacity simultaneously. But here's the edge case nobody discusses. Trauma can distort intuition. If you grew up in chaos, your nervous system might flag safety as dangerous because it's unfamiliar. If you experienced betrayal from trusted people, your radar might false alarm on genuine kindness. This is why calibration matters. Raw intuition plus self-awareness plus pattern testing equals precision. The goal isn't perfect intuition, it's trusted intuition. It's rebuilding the relationship with your internal guidance system after years of being told it's broken. It's not broken, it's been overridden. There's a difference. What boundary have you been afraid to set because you can't logically justify it, yet your body clearly needs it? Why overriding your instincts is self-abandonment. Let's cut to the bone. Every time you silence your intuition to keep someone else comfortable, you're choosing their approval over your safety. You're announcing to yourself that a stranger's convenience matters more than your well-being. That appearing chill trumps being protected. This isn't kindness. It's not emotional intelligence. It's not being a good person. It's self-betrayal at the cellular level. It's leaving your front door unlocked during a crime wave, because it would be rude to suggest the neighborhood isn't safe. And the cost of that internal treason compounds silently until one day you look in the mirror and don't recognize the person staring back. Because every time you override the alarm, you weaken the entire system. Every time you rationalize away the warning, you teach your brain those signals don't matter. Eventually, the radar stops functioning. Not because it broke, because you trained it into silence. Then you become that person who never sees it coming, who gets blindsided by obvious betrayals, who falls for scams with red flags the size of billboards. Everyone wonders, how did they miss that? They didn't miss it. At the subconscious level, they caught every signal, but years of self-sabotage convinced the system to stop reporting. A study from Columbia University examined victims of long-term manipulation and found a devastating pattern. Most reported they knew something was wrong from early on, but explained it away, rationalized it, found alternative interpretations, because admitting the intuition was correct meant having to act, and acting meant conflict, loneliness, change. So they chose to doubt themselves, and they paid brutally for that choice. Here's the question that cuts deep. What are you tolerating right now that your body rejected months ago? What relationship, job, friendship, or situation are you maintaining despite constant visceral resistance? What story are you buying that your instincts keep spitting back out? There's a critical distinction between fear and intuition. Fear says, you can't handle this. Intuition says, this situation is wrong. Fear points inward at your inadequacy. Intuition points outward at external threat. Fear paralyzes. Intuition mobilizes. Confusing them is like confusing a fire alarm with burned toast. One saves your life, the other just annoys you. Reconnecting with your intuition isn't some spiritual journey requiring crystals and incense. It's a radical act of self-preservation. It's deciding your safety needs outweigh other people's convenience, that your discomfort is validating, not noise to filter out. Start micro. When someone asks something that makes you uncomfortable, practice saying, "Me think about that." No justification, no explanation. Just create space for your system to process without immediate social pressure. You'll discover many urgent opportunities reveal their true nature when you don't instantly agree. Pay attention to who gets irritated when you establish boundaries, who accuses you of being too suspicious, making things complicated, trust issues. Those people are annoyed because your radar is working and detecting exactly what they hoped you'd miss. Your gut isn't the enemy of reason. It's reason's oldest partner. While consciousness handles the visible, intuition processes the invisible. While logic analyzes what's said, instinct decodes what's omitted. You don't choose between them, you integrate both. Flying without sensors isn't freedom. It's an invitation to crash. Reactivate your alarms. Trust your radar. Honor your internal boundaries. Because at the end of the day, the only person who will live with the consequences of ignoring your intuition is you. And that's a price too high to keep paying. What's one action you're going to take this week based on what your gut has been telling you that your mind keeps arguing against? If this video hit different, don't keep it to yourself, share it. Someone in your world needs to hear this today. And subscribe, because there's a lot more deprogramming coming your way.